What's good? It's Extreme Caution. Today I'm gonna go over my official WWE Saturday Night's main event review. I'm gonna go over every match on the card, what I thought every single match. If you like daily wrestling content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into the review. The opening match we start off with is Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship. I'm really not going to go that in depth of this match. This match was good. It was good. We had some key moments, but this match ended exactly how I thought it was going to end, which was Cody Rhodes retaining, which was the most predictable and boring outcome. It was a good match. It was definitely better than a WrestlePalooza match. We had some moments where Cody Rhodes was getting, well, Drew McIntyre was getting in Cody Rhodes' head, and Cody Rhodes was kind of losing his cool a bit. We had a moment where Drew tries to use the WWE Championship. They end up having a ref bump, but they end up coming into play. They basically recopied the Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes match. I forgot which pay-per-view it was where Kevin Owens tries to use the belt but end up being used against him. They basically reused that spot. Cody Rhodes uses the championship against Drew McIntyre when the ref was out, picked up the victory, does a crossroads and wins. So I'm just wondering what's next, because there's no way Drew McIntyre is getting a third fucking match against Cody Rhodes, because he got everything he wanted. He got the stipulation he wanted and it failed. So what's next for Drew? I'm assuming next week we're gonna have Drew McIntyre cutting a promo, basically complaining like he typically does. But what's next for Cody Rhodes? Because the only feud I see is Randy Orton, but with WWE's logic, they typically don't like to pull trigger on feuds like that until like WrestleMania season. So what are we gonna do with this Cody Rhodes stuff? Because I don't know what you do with Cody at this point. Look, I like Cody. I do. I like the guy. It took me a long time to even start liking Cody. But why does he need to be champion right now? I just don't understand it. Because we all know that he's probably going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. That's cool. But if he's going to be in the main event, he doesn't need to hold the championship until Mania. He could lose it and then win it back. I don't know. Look, to be fair, I didn't really have high hopes for Drew winning. So I already knew Drew was going to lose. So this doesn't affect me. But I do feel bad for Drew McIntyre fans, because I understand the Drew McIntyre fans' pain. I do. I felt this pain for a long time with a lot of wrestlers, mainly with Tatum Paxley, but she won the NXT Championship. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe you guys just need to just give up, because at this point, it's never going to happen. Maybe you guys should just give up entirely, and maybe it'll finally happen. But Cody retains. Don't really know what you do with these two guys. I don't know what Drew does on SmackDown, because I don't know who he feuds with, to be honest with you. Unless he feuds with Sami Zayn. That's the only person I can think of. And Cody, the only person there is Randy, but Randy's not healed, so it's like, I don't know what you do. But we'll see how this all plays out. But Cody Rhodes retains and is still your WWE Undisputed Champion. Now we get the Women's WWE Championship match between Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. This match was fine. This match wasn't anything special, but it didn't need to be anything special, because this match delivered exactly what it was supposed to do. Tiffany Stratton was playing a leg injury, and Jade Cargill was the complete dominant force as she was presented, which I actually like. I didn't think we need a leg injury, but I understand why, especially with this outcome. I'm glad that they did not do the typical WWE thing, which is make the babyface look somewhat strong with a messed up leg or rib. I hate that. No, this was perfect. If you're going to have the babyface have an injury angle, they should be significantly nerfed. That's what they did. They made Jade look completely dominant with Tiffany barely getting off his end. That's exactly what needed to happen in this match, because that would have looked real bad if Tiffany Stratton was about to win against Jade Cargill with a messed up knee. They did this perfectly. This gives Tiffany Stratton an excuse. Also, at the same time, makes Jade look very dominant, because Tiffany barely got any off his end. Jade is your new WWE WWE Women's Champion. I really enjoy it. Now, hopes for her reign. There is no hope for her reign, because all the problems that fans complain about with Tiffany Stratton, you're going to see the same issues with Jade. The only difference between Jade and Tiffany is their character. So let's just hope that Jade's character can carry that WWE Championship, which I highly doubt. If it was me personally, I would pair her with someone to have someone cut her promos. Now, she could cut a promo here and there, but I would have someone else carry majority of the promo. I would have someone like B-Fab pair with her. She could do majority of the mic work and just have Jade cut in here and there. But who does Jade feud with afterwards? I would assume Bianca, but we don't know her timetable, so we don't know when she's going to return. And then maybe Tiffany's trying to get a rematch down the line, because you know they're going to run rematches, because SmackDown's women's division is very, very small, so they don't really have much options. So they're definitely going to run a rematch eventually. And we're definitely going to get that Nia Jax match eventually as well. So I like what they did here. Made Jay look dominant, and I'm interested to see what a heel Jade Cargill looks in WWE, because I've been praying for her to turn heel for the longest. We finally got it, so I'm actually interested to see how this goes, but I'm not expecting her run to be that good due to the lack of roster depth on SmackDown. Now, for the Intercontinental Championship triple threat match between Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Rusev. This match was really fun. Really fun. Really enjoyed it. This match played out exactly how I thought it would. Penta and Rusev basically canceled each other out, which I knew was going to happen. We did have some cool spots. Well, it was one spot that I really didn't like, that I was very confused by. You only get a spot where Dominic tries to throw a steel chair to pretend like he got hit, not knowing it's a triple threat match, which I found very confusing. Now, I understood what they was going for. It's supposed to be like a funny moment, but it's Dominic Mysterio. He grew up with Rey Mysterio. He's Rey Mysterio's son. Like, he should know that a triple threat match is no disqualification. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that spot could have worked. I just don't think it works for me when it comes to Dominic Mysterio. This would have worked if it was more of a comedic type heel, like a Chelsea Green, Ariana Gray, like those type of heels. It works due to their character. With Dom, I just felt like it was a bit weird. Like, I just felt like it was a bit weird that he tried to do that knowing it's a triple threat match. But we ended up getting one moment also where Rusev had Penta in his submission lock, and Dominic Mysterio ended up tapping. He ended up using a hammer to ring the bell to act like Rusev won, but he didn't, to make sure Penta doesn't tap out. Which, that was a cool spot. That was actually genius. That was very creative. But then we get towards the end of the match, where we end up getting Penta ended up getting the hammer. He tries to use it on Dom. Dom avoids it, hits Rusev. Dom throws Penta into the ring post. This allowed Dominic Mysterio to hit the frog splash on Rusev to retain the Intercontinental Championship. I like it. I would have wanted Rusev to win, but I understand why Dominic Mysterio won. It was a good match. It was a really good, fun, enjoyable match. I don't know what's really next for these guys, because Dominic Mysterio has beaten Rusev 3 times now. You can't run that again. And then this was a triple threat, so Dom won cleanly here. So I don't know what's next for Dominic in his IC title run, unless we're just going to have 1v1s with Penta, but we have seen Dom and Penta fought multiple times already. So I don't know if they're going to continue this. I'm assuming Rusev and Penta are going to feud, because Penta cost Rusev the match by hitting him with the hammer. So it makes sense for them to feud. I don't know what's next for Dom, though. That's the only question, because I'm looking at baby faces he can face. There's really no baby faces unless we're going with the Sheamus route. That's the only other baby face that is featured on Raw that actually can have a shot at actually facing him, and that will actually make sense against Dominic. So we'll see how this plays out, but I did like this match overall, but Dominic Mysterio is still your Intercontinental Champion. Now we end up getting an announcement from John Cena. We end up getting a little cool vignette package of getting a hint of John Cena's last opponent. And WWE is going to run a 16-man tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent, December 13th, Saturday Night's Main Event, which I'm excited about. I love this idea. This is a great idea, because I was like, John Cena isn't going to be able to build his match towards his final match. So it was like, it's best to just have a tournament or some sort, some battle royal, because he ain't going to be able to build towards that match. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Now, there is one hint that they kind of gave as well. I don't know if there was a hint or John Cena just said it, but John Cena ended up mentioning that he said that his final opponent, he wants his final opponent to be someone who has seized the opportunity like he did. And they were showing the Kurt Angle moment of when John Cena came out to confront Kurt Angle. So I'm assuming maybe that is a hint as well, that possibly it's going to be a young upcoming star. That could be very interesting as well. Now, I mean, for me personally, I'm assuming John Cena is the type of guy that's going to lose on his final match. I don't mind if he loses or wins. It just depends on who he's faced. If he's going to have his final match, there's only a select few people that I really want to see. One of them is Randy Orton. I get we already seen that, but it makes sense for John Cena to be final match to be Randy Orton due to the history. The other person I would be somewhat interested in is maybe someone like Sheamus due to their history as well. Sheamus' last match was he ends up also retiring another legend, which was Edge. Well, Edge won that match if I'm not mistaken. But now a lot of people want Dominic Mysterio to be his final opponent. I'm not really interested in that, to be honest with you. If that does happen, John Cena kind of needs to win that match. I just don't, because to me, there's not many people who benefit from beating John Cena in his final match. I just don't see most people getting elevated from beating John Cena, in my opinion. The only person I would want to see John Cena, if he faces a younger talent that will actually get elevated and beat John Cena, is Braun Breaker. That's really it. Any other person, like Gunther doesn't need it. He already retired Goldberg. He's already a future main event. Braun Breaker, you could technically say, doesn't need it as well, but you could use that win to catapult him in the main event to finally go after the world title if you want to go that route. So that makes sense. Dominic Mysterio will be an interesting choice if at Survivor Series, but not in his final match. But if that does be his final match, John Cena needs to win. Dominic Mysterio does not need to beat John Cena. Plus, with his heel character, it actually makes sense for him to lose, actually, if I'm being honest. But there's not many young up-and-coming talents that I want to see John Cena actually face, if I'm being honest, for his final match. But veterans, there's plenty of veterans I'm cool. I'm cool with CM Punk. I'm cool with Randy. I'm cool with AJ Styles. Like, there's plenty of veterans I'm cool with. Young talent, not really much, because there's not many young talent I can really see being elevated off that match. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited to see how that 16-man tournament plays out. Now we get the main event. CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the vacant WWE World Championship. This match was good. I enjoyed it. CM Punk wins. I'm not really going to go there in depth over it. I don't really have much issues with the match. The only thing I will say is there's a few things. CM Punk hitting 5 fucking GTS is a bit ridiculous. Like, why? Like, we didn't need 5 of them. Like, I don't mind finisher spamming to a degree, but it depends on the match and it depends on the two people. Like, for example, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Though that's a history that is built up enough where you could spam finishers. I'm sorry, this is not a match for that. Like, they're like a match that requires a lot of finishers needs to be built up. This match is a filler feud. Like, no, this did not need 5. You would have been fine with 2, even 3. I would have been cool, but 5 was a bit ridiculous. Also, WWE needs to calm down with their barricade and table spots because they do this every goddamn week, it feels like. Even on NXT, they do barricades and table spots. So, can we calm down a bit? Like, chill out with the barricades and table spots. Like, calm down a bit. But overall, CM Punk wins. Curious to see how it plays out. I'm assuming he has to hold this to Mania because if he's going to lose the Braun Breaker before Mania, then this whole match is fucking pointless, and you could have just pulled the trigger on Braun Breaker. But we'll see how this plays out. I'm assuming the next step for CM Punk is eventually to face Braun Breaker to lose, and I'm assuming Jey Uso is going to continue his little Roman storyline with Jey Uso. Overall, Saturday night's main event, it was a fine show. It was an enjoyable show. It wasn't nothing special, but it was an enjoyable show overall. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you thought of Saturday night's main event. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.